Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
Today we're going to be fixing this tire.
Next on Now Let's Review.
All right, so Jesse, I was riding this the other day and I realized that I got flat and I tried pumping it up, but it didn't hold because obviously the inner tube is flat. So what are we going to do?
So yeah, we're going to have to remove the rear tire. Unfortunately, this one is the motor. Actually, both of these are motors. So where are you going?
That sounds impossible. Why don't we just bring it to a bike store?
No, come on, we can do it ourselves. This is not going to be that difficult.
All right, what do we need? We need like a million tools?
All right, so first of all, you're going to need some kind of wrench to be able to get the wheel off.
Okay,
right?
I got that.
Then you're going to need the proper inner tube. And so you can find that out either by Googling whatever kind of scooter you have. That's going to be pretty available information. And if for whatever reason you can't find that, once you take off the tire, the inner tube will probably say it on it. Take you a little bit longer to do, obviously, but...
So what is this one that we're getting here?
So this is, first of all, this is the Vsett 10 Plus, and we got many different inner tubes will fit in it. I believe these are 10 2¼
Oh, so 10 is the diameter, 2¼ is the width.
Yes.
So in our case, it has to have a bent valve stem.
Does it? Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
So
okay.
Good thing we got that one.
Okay. Anything else we need?
Yes, you're gonna need, these little tools are gonna come in very handy.
What are those?
These are tire removing tools.
Oh, they like slip around it and help you get it? Okay.
Yes.
And then a pump.
Bike pump of some kind, whatever you use to pump up your tires.
I'm just gonna say right now, I don't think you can do it.
Why not?
I don't know, it just seems impossible.
Well, I don't think it's gonna be that hard. Okay. Oh, another thing you'll need is just some crap to put under your scooter to kind of jack it up. Oh. Maybe you could turn it on its side or flip it upside down, but at least for the purposes of this video, we're gonna elevate it to make it a little bit easier to work on. All right, so we have the resting on its front wheel and the back side here. Oh, just make sure that this is well supported. I mean, obviously this could tip over, but take a lot of force.
Now, do we have to take this off?
No.
Do we have to take the brake off?
No.
Do we have to unplug the wire?
No.
Oh.
So yeah, the way that this should be working, even though that this is a hub motor and so is the front, even though it's a hub motor, you only need to basically remove one side of the tire. You don't have to have the whole thing off, which means that you can see right here, it's kind of hard to see, that's where the motor wire connects into the motor.
Oh, so good. We're not gonna have to touch any of the wiring.
Yeah, so okay. This isn't, it won't be as bad as you think it is. Okay. So first thing I'm gonna do, start loosening this. Lefty, loosey, righty tighty. Okay, and certainly don't make it easy. Is this a ratchet?
It's a little big, but it works.
Great. Probably don't even need to take it all the way off. And then do not pop that washer out because that's gonna also hold it on. So a couple of little safety things that make sure that your motor doesn't fly off when you're going 45 miles an hour on this scooter. So I'll do the same thing to the other side. And so I'm not even taking the nuts off so I don't lose them. All I'm doing is leaving enough room for that washer to allow the motor to slide out.
Okay.
Okay, so we have enough room on both sides. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is very simply wiggle, wiggle, and hopefully there's just enough room.
Is that brake making you hard for you?
We're out of the brake caliper actually.
Oh.
I think it's just the motor wire is just a little short on this guy, but there it is. So now, don't turn on the scooter. Probably should have been step number one is turn off the scooter. Because right now, if we were to turn on the scooter and give it some throttle, this would destroy itself.
Right, and us.
And us, and yeah. Probably the world. Okay, so now we have our tire and it's free. And as you can see here, just being held by the motor wire. So we don't want to put too much stress on the motor wire, and that's what's going to make this probably the most challenging. Okay. Now we have to look at which side we have to do this to, and unfortunately, we're going to have to do it to the side that has the brake caliper on it because the other side has the motor wire attached to it, and you can't put anything.
Should we take the caliper off?
I don't think that we're going to need to. Um,
Or actually, this isn't the caliper. This is the
sorry, the rotor.
rotor.
Yeah.
don't have
Maybe we do. We do.
I feel like it'd be easier.
So, okay, so we're gonna
So we need one more tool.
Yes, Allen
I
keys.
think I have some.
You know what I just realized on this? Thankfully,
What?
thankfully, we're probably not gonna need these.
Why is that?
Because you can basically split the wheel. If we look in here, there's a screw that goes all the way through the wheel, and what I believe that's doing is it's clamping, if you can imagine, these two sides of the wheel, and then here, you be my tire, do this. No, yeah, you be the tire. It's like this. So if this is the tire, and there's certain sections that kind of flare out, and then the two halves kind of come in like this. The inner tube comes and sits in the middle. So eventually the tire looks like this. We're gonna unclamp one of those sides.
Oh. Okay.
So that is gonna save us a whole bunch of hassle. On my old Show Me scooter, I didn't have any of these, and I had to undo the wheel with like screwdrivers. I probably mangled the wheel entirely. And I think the workaround, especially on such a beefy tire like this, is that you just unclamp it.
So we just need your hex key there?
Yeah, so I'm gonna loosen this. That's why having a million tools is helpful, because you never know which tool is gonna be.
So you like this one?
Yeah, this one just so happens to work out.
Well, yeah, let's tell people what it is in case they want to get it.
So this is, this came with one of our bikes.
I'll try and find it and put it in the Amazon links down below. This is where it's nice. I don't see one down here today, but we usually have a magnetic tray to put the parts into.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they can roll away on you.
They're usually like just a couple bucks at Harbor Freight. I always pick one up every time I'm there.
Yeah, I'll try and put a link to that down below as well.
Because yeah, losing one screw is just about as good as losing all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all scooters are going to be different, but yeah, they did not give us a lot of motor
But this is similar
wire.
to the Varla.
It is.
So I mean, I think a lot of these big 9 and 10 inch wheel scooters do it this way.
Yeah, because the radius, so normally on a bike tire, you're able to get, the tire tool in between the rubber and the wheel itself, the rim of the wheel, and you're able to kind of pull it out. But because these are so much smaller, in order to get the rubber you need to pull it out, you need like tremendous force, and it's completely undoable. And I speak from experience.
I feel like this is one of those jobs that when you do it the first time, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
And then the second is faster and faster and faster. And I feel like this would be a good business to go into, like a little small business. Because as more people have scooters, they're not going to know how to do this, and you could be that person.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't even need like a location. You could just show up. People would love if you just showed up.
Yeah, back of your minivan or something.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and most of the tools you need for a bike are minuscule.
Yeah.
So could even be in a tiny little car.
Yeah, because I feel like I would easily want to pay $50-$75 to have this done.
Right.
I wonder how many bike shops could do this.
I bet most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the right skill set, I think this is pretty simple.
I just mean, I wonder how many of them have started to see this, because these are not that popular scooters yet.
But they are expensive, so
yeah,
you'd pay to service them. Okay, so that should be the last screw there.
So 6 screws.
Yeah, so now.
So not 8 like you said.
Okay, well, All right, so I'm just pulling this off, and it's not easy, but you can see here, I'm making some progress.
Oh, I see.
There we go.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so now we've popped the wheel off, and you're like, oh, but that's the wrong way because now it's hooked on the motor wire. But what this allows us to do is get our inner tube out.
How do we get
it
out?
And I think I see the problem with our inner tube. Do you see that?
No.
Maybe grab the G7X so we could show it.
I could use this.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Wait, I do see it.
Yeah, I think I've spotted our problem. This is such a powerful scooter.
Wait, so it like sheared the tube?
I don't think it actually sheared the tube, but it definitely put the tube in a very uncomfortable situation. And that's what I think led to it popping.
That's how powerful these are.
These are extremely powerful, dangerous machines. You should ride them with, with as much care and responsibility as you can. So yeah, I'm gonna push the valve stem out through that hole.
But now I still don't get how we're gonna get the tube off.
You'll see. It has room to fit over the motor and pull off. It's definitely not the easiest solution here, but they really haven't left us much choice unless we wanted to pull off this entire trim piece. And I do not want to do that. That is too much. So we're just gonna have to get a little bit dirty here. And I'm gonna push in now that I don't care about that valve stem. Push it through, okay? Now I can kind of use that as my little puller. We're gonna pull it out of the, and you can see how this tire was never gonna come out of a rim.
No.
It's so big and rigid. So that's why they have the clamp. And I really appreciate that, because otherwise, yeah, there's no replacing this.
I almost feel like these shouldn't be pneumatic.
I almost feel like they shouldn't be inner tube.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, they should be more like a car tire, since they're dealing with car tire forces.
Yeah, that's true. Or just not air at all.
That way there's nothing to pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we've had this happen to a bunch of our big scooters.
Yes.
It's almost always the rear wheel.
Right. And with a bike, you have a little bit more play because it's just bigger. The tire has more space. We might want to stab this and let all the rest of the air out.
Isn't there out? No?
No, it's not. It's flat, but it's not completely devoid of air. I'm gonna get in there.
Just be careful, don't stab yourself.
I'm not gonna stab myself, so I'm just gonna kind of cut. Ew, gross. They had Fix-A-Flat in it.
Oh.
Like their own gray, gross brand.
Gross, well I've got a rag, so.
So that's why it didn't like go completely flat.
Interesting.
I think is because the Fix-A-Flat filled the hole once it was, ugh, gross. So maybe don't cut it. Wow, because they knew it was gonna wear out on you.
So does that mean we should slime ours?
Probably. Ugh, oh.
That is gross.
That's nasty, dude. I feel like I'm operating on an alien. All right, so scene change.
Paper towels.
Yeah.
Enter the scene.
I regret cutting that. That is so gross.
Live and learn.
Ew. I'm just gonna try and squeeze out as much gunk. Oh man. It did make it easier to pull out, but at what cost?
God, it looks like grease.
Yeah, so now the only problem is, once I pull it out, I still have to pull it off of the motor.
You want to cut it? I would cut it in half.
Oh, that's a great idea. Ugh. Oh, ew.
I gotta capture that.
That is nasty,
that
dude.
does look like an alien.
Oh, ew. Oh, I can see why they made it green. Making it green makes it less gross than that.
Ugh, yeah.
You know, you're like, oh, why do they make it green? Because the black kind is disgusting.
I don't even want to know what it is.
Oh,
that is gross.
Wow. Okay, wow.
I mean, I knew it was going to be a hard project. I just didn't know it was going to be a gross project.
I know. So that was disgusting. It was effective in removing the tube.
We got the tube out.
We got the tube out.
That only took, what, half an hour?
Yeah. Is the bike shop looking more appealing yet?
$200.
I know. Support your local business. All right, so yeah, we got it out. So now what we need to do is get our new tube in. So I'm gonna remove the cap so that way we can fit it into the hole, which is very important because...
And we want to be kind to the end of that.
Yes, you don't want to be destroying that piece. So be thinking about the direction that you want this to be coming out of your...
Oh, the valve stem?
The valve stem coming out of the tube. I want it to be kind of faced like that.
Oh, okay.
So that's the way that I'm gonna put it on, and I'm also going to try and line it up with the hole. And the nice part is I can adjust the hole to where I want it, which makes it slightly easier. But obviously, you can only move it in 1/6 turns because there's 6 points that have to be attached. Then I'm gonna get this over the motor. We've got this so that it's ready to go in. The valve stem is facing in the right direction. Mm-hmm. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the valve stem. I'm gonna pop that into the wheel itself. And again, you can see how difficult it is to manipulate this wheel. And I'm just sliding in the inner tube. Make it a little easier. So I've gotten it fully over the motor. So now I have a little bit more play and wiggle room to get this into the tire. Yes.
You did it?
Oh my God.
How'd you do it? Is there a trick?
Yes. Oh.
What's the trick?
Oh. Okay. Gross. Wow. So the tube is bent like this, and the hole, for the thing is up here. And so it's really hard to get it to go in.
You're not hitting it 90 degrees.
Right. So what I had to do is kind of hook it.
Oh, hook it. So now do we put the cap on it so it won't fall out?
Yeah. Because if it fell out, I think I would just throw the whole scooter away. All right. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to get the rest of the tube inside the tire. And that's going to be a lot easier because there's nothing else to really get in my way.
Does seem a bit archaic.
Yeah.
Seems like it's 2023. We should have a better way of doing this.
All right, so now we've got it in there.
Okay, do we pump it up a little?
Just a little bit, just enough to give it some roundness. So, all right, so now we have a new inner tube inside the tire, and to avoid anything from getting pinched, we're gonna pump it up just a little bit so instead of it being flat, it's gonna kind of curl up, and that's gonna pull these tip places, the flat geometry. It's gonna be able to hopefully make it sit in the inner tube a little bit better, and then we can kind of massage it into a nice working place. So I'll put this on. And yeah, it's pulled away, so I'm gonna stop it right there. So yeah, 0 PSI on the graph there. And now, once I remove this, I can work my way around and feel that the whole inner tube is nicely secure inside there. I'm going to add the cap back on because I do not want that to fall off and fall back into the tire. Now what we're gonna do is just reverse all of our steps. So what I'm gonna do is we're going to get this situated just like that. We're gonna line those holes back up, and I'm gonna screw it all back together. And so anytime you're doing any kind of tire or flat thing that you're attaching, you never wanna tighten down one screw or nut or bolt at the same time.
You wanna go opposites?
You wanna go opposites.
Like
and
star pattern.
The first thing you should do is usually get everything started. Because if you tighten down something, you can push something off and then you can't get something in. So get everything in first.
Kind of just finger tight.
Mm-hmm.
So are we on the downhill of this installation, do you think?
Yeah.
That was the hardest part?
That was the hardest part.
If you had known that trick when we first started, would it have been as hard?
Which trick?
The sliding of the valve stem into the hole.
That was difficult, even with the trick, I think.
And do you need a lot of hand strength?
Oh yeah.
So if you don't have a lot of hand strength, you can't do this.
Yeah, I mean, if you play guitar, you're probably good. If you play bass, even better.
Good to know.
If you,
so if you're a bassist, you can set this up as a side bass.
If you're a rock climber, your fingers are probably too big, but they're probably strong enough.
So small, strong hands.
I think that's what you're going for.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just getting these mostly tight.
This is a job that Tesla bot could do someday.
All right. Okay. Woo-wee. Now, I'm ready for my nap. I think what I'm going to want to do now is fill this up the rest of the way.
Okay.
Because if there's a leak or something,
now's the time.
Now's the time. I mean, yeah, it's just sliding it back on, but you know, It's already such a pain. And this valve stem, man, barely has enough room as it is. Look at how much little room there is.
Yeah. It's not a great design.
I mean, they had to put the hub motor somewhere.
Yeah.
And
It's a big hub.
Every millimeter you make the hub motor bigger, the more powerful it becomes. So it's a big trade-off. You hold the pump itself. All right, so we've got our wheel ready to go back on.
Mm-hmm. Nice that you kept your nuts on there.
Yeah, so all the washers and everything are held in place.
So make sure that there's an inner washer and 2 outer washers, right?
And the other thing to keep in mind is that these, both the washers and the shaft itself are actually not round.
Right.
They are, they have 2 flats on them. So that's what we're going to put back on. We want to put it back on the exact same way that it was before, with the motor wire pointing down. So,
and we got to get our brake caliper in there.
Yes.
Or brake rotor into the caliper.
So, just going to get everything kind of aligned. And I think I'm going to put the motor wire back into its little holder and tighten that up before I go too nuts. Because you do not want the motor wire rubbing against the wheel. The way it went on last time was we had the washers with the little things, the lock on the outside and the washers on the inside. So now I'm going to lift our motor into place and try and get everything hunky-dory here.
So your finger tightening first.
Mm-hmm. And it's good because the washer helps you know when it's lined up. So like right here, you can see that the washer is not lined up in its hole, so I have to push it forward. Maybe that 2x4 actually.
What you doing?
Just gonna kind of love tap that forward a little bit.
That's how you're doing your alignment? Is this the alignment?
It's basically, yeah. Okay. Okay, and tighten that on. And then give this one all the marbles. Because you don't want this coming off while you ride it. Okay, test spin. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Now for the final test, the front tire shouldn't go. Yeah. So, I mean, it has quite a bounce, but it had that before.
It had that before. That's a different video, folks.
Yeah, so we got it.
Wow. All right, so let's just recap here.
For step one, take it to the bike store.
No, but I mean, so what do you need to have physically to do this? Could anyone do it, or do you have to have enough hand strength?
I would say, yeah, you're gonna need a decent amount of hand strength. You're gonna need the right tools. You're gonna need the right tube. You're probably gonna make a mess. You're definitely gonna get dirty.
So out of a level 1, 2, or 3, where level 1 is anyone with a screwdriver, level 2 is someone with some skills, level 3 is an expert.
If I'm gonna reserve level 3 for like electronics and really technical stuff.
Well, no, but like a bike shop is level 3.
Level 3 is a bike shop?
Level 2 is, and level 1 is a neophyte.
I would definitely call this level 2.
Level 2. Okay, well that's good to know. So I mean, unless you feel like you're level 2, don't attempt it on your own.
Let me put it this way. If you've done a bike tire before, I would say that this is much harder. Bike tire is very easy.
Right, there's not a lot of physical strength needed.
Right.
In terms of cost, this was just the cost of the tube.
Yeah.
So question, $10 versus, I don't know what your local bike shop's gonna charge. Really depends on your area, but I'm thinking urban areas is probably, you're looking at least $100. Now that you've done it, would you bring it to a bike shop for the next repair, or would you do it yourself? It's kind of on the border, huh? Depends on your time.
It depends on if you like doing this stuff. if you do, I think that this would be a great little project for you.
And I mean, the thing is, if you own one of these, it's going to happen to you at least once. And then if you're always going to worry about it, see, the thing is, we have another tube right now, so I can just have Jesse do it again.
Yeah, so I'm just really trying to think. Let's say that you watch this whole video and you don't have one of these scooters, but you wanted to see what it was like. Is this going to change your mind on a scooter like this? I think that it probably really comes down to how difficult this stuff is to do. Because like, for instance, the Varla has a very similar sized tire.
Yeah, it's a 9 instead of a 10.
But look, I'm holding it. Do you know how much easier this is to do? Because I am able to get my whole hands and be able to put this on a
Wait, why are you
device.
able to hold it?
Because they put it on the other side of the motor wire.
Oh, you can just slip it right off.
You can slip it right off. This is not gonna come off. So it's like literally down to each scooter is gonna be slightly harder or easier. Because yeah, I was remembering with the Varla, it was not that hard.
The other thing is, I would go watch our video on slime, and I would pre-slime this, because it would be nice if it did get a pop, you didn't even know about it. It just fixed itself.
Right. I mean, you know, all these little pieces of junk and sand and debris that can get in there. If the tire is going around 1,000 times a second, and these little pieces of things are rubbing against the inner tube, that's what's going to lead to those pinhole leaks, which could lead to a bigger failure. Now, obviously, the tube that we just took off was full of just disgusting, gross alien guts of ugh. So that didn't even seem to fix it.
Right.
I guess maybe adding more air might have helped, but I think we had gotten to the point where that wasn't going to do it.
Right. Well, there you have it, folks. I don't know if we really, gave you the definitive answer on whether you can do it yourself. You're going to have to, comment down below if you have questions about it, and let us know if you, have some questions that we can help answer. But yeah, ask yourself whether you have the skills, if you're kind of at level 2, if you have enough hand skills, because I don't know if I have enough hand strength as you do. So like, that might have been out of my league.
And patience. Right. Yeah, that was really tough. Maybe there's a different way to do it.
And set aside at least about an hour.
At least.
Yeah.
I would say 3 if you're more new to it. Like an afternoon.
Okay.
Pick a weekend.
And one person can do it, but I think having a second person around is going to make it a lot easier, especially since these big scooters are heavy. All right, well, there you have it, folks. Thank you so much for joining us, and now let's review. Put down in the comments what you'd like us to be reviewing and telling you how to fix. I hope this was helpful for you. We'll see you next time on Now Let's Review.